Time is now 8:43, and it's time to connect to Congress, a segment where we talk directly to Washington lawmakers who represent us here in the central San Joaquin Valley. And this morning, we're joined by Democratic Representative from California's 21st Congressional District, Jim Costa. Good morning, Congressman Costa. Thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning, Liz. And as I always say, it's great to be on Great Day, and happy Thanksgiving to all the wonderful people in our valley.
Indeed, to you as well. How families are really feeling the pinch at the grocery store this Thanksgiving. We've been reporting on that for weeks now. You've pointed to the tariffs implemented by the Trump administration as one of the drivers behind the higher food prices and turkey prices. Can you explain how these policies are really starting to affect shoppers here in the valley and how they will for some time?
Well, don't take my word for it. We have leading economists throughout the country of all political persuasions who believe tariffs are a tax on American consumers and American producers, our agricultural producers, our manufacturers. And I think while the president doesn't like to acknowledge that, the fact that he took action this week to roll back some of those tariffs in an effort to reduce prices in the grocery store, I think is an acknowledgement that the tariffs are having a financial impact to people trying to put food on their dinner table. And of course, with this Thanksgiving coming tomorrow, we want to make sure that notwithstanding the fact that turkeys have increased 40% compared to last year, other cans and fruits commodities have also increased. The truth is that tariffs are a tax on American consumers and producers, and we see the impacts of that today.
We were talking about turkeys. You recently sent a letter to the USDA urging Secretary Rollins to fully reinstate bird flu surveillance, especially as the outbreak pushed actually killed a number of turkeys and prices shot up. What prompted you to take that step, and what actions are you really hoping to see from this administration?
Well, the avian flu is a challenge that we have around the country. It's brought by wildlife that are migrating near areas where you're producing poultry, turkeys, and that spread of the avian flu is a serious problem. It's resulted in depopulating a lot of our poultry flocks around the country, including here in California. And that's really directly impacted the increased costs of chickens and turkeys and eggs. In California, it's 120,000 jobs that the avian flu has impacted, and the multiplier effect is in the hundreds and millions of dollars when you add it all together. So the letter to Secretary of Agriculture with bipartisan support is to try to make sure that the USDA provides the resources necessary to put down this avian flu so that we can protect our domestic production. It's that simple.
Congressman Costa, again, a lot of people hitting the road. The good news is that the number of air traffic controllers staffing is back up and running there. But a big part of this battle with the government shutdown dealt with the Affordable Care Act tax credits. When we spoke with you, you said, I don't necessarily trust that this will happen if we happen to sign on to just end the shutdown. Where does that stand now? A lot of families clearly rely on the Affordable Care Act in order to keep their health care affordable as it's meant to be. Where do the talks stand now, and what are some of the impacts if those credits are reduced or allowed to expire after all?
Well, I'm very concerned, and it's one of the reasons that we, notwithstanding the shutdown, we're trying to get bipartisan support to work on at least an extension and with maybe some reforms on the income caps and such. Good news, we had a Zoom earlier this week on Monday, bipartisan members of Congress trying to figure out how we could reach out to the administration to, in fact, for 2 years, extend the Affordable Health Care Act, which impacts 22 million Americans, plus, as you noted, and thousands and thousands of folks here in the Valley and in my congressional district that will see a family of four earning $64,000 a year will see their premiums increase if we don't extend this to over 240%, as much as $2,500 more per year to pay for their insurance. And that's just unacceptable. In the richest nation in the world, we should, have a safety net as it relates to our food, with Thanksgiving coming up and our health care. The cuts earlier this year in the big, I never called it beautiful, took away $1.2 trillion of funding for Medi-Cal, the largest cut in America's healthcare system ever. And you couple that with the tax credits expiring at the end of this month, I'm hopeful that the negotiations next week will result in a bipartisan effort to extend the healthcare tax credits for at least 2 years. And I'll keep you updated as we continue to work together with the White House and members of Congress.
Of course, we'll be checking in with you as well. And before we let you go, Congressman Costa, is there a message you want to share with people of the 21st District as they spend this Thanksgiving with their families and friends?
Yes, I think the generosity of the people of this valley is wonderful, and it's a statement of who we are. The gift of giving for those who are less food secure tomorrow is really important with our food banks, our churches, other NGOs that are trying to provide a Thanksgiving meal. This is the gift of giving, and it is something that I think we all share in common. I've made my efforts to, with family and friends, to make sure that other people will have a good Thanksgiving dinner, and I think we all should do that. And notwithstanding, let me close on this note, the differences, the hyper-partisan, rhetoric that's taking place these days. Let us remember, Thanksgiving is a time to give thanks for a whole host of reasons, that Americans, that we as people share so much more in common than whatever differences we may have. Let us remember that. And the gift of giving is something that we should all take pride in if we're able to do so, because there are those here in our communities and around the country that are less fortunate. So happy Thanksgiving to one and all. Let's remember as we get together with family and friends what we're thankful for, this great country that we love, and that is what Thanksgiving's all about, a celebration of family and friends and joy and giving back.
All right, Congressman Jim Costa, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Great day. We'll be right back.